Hello, Duke students who are outside of Cameron Indoor Stadium in a place called Krzyzewskiville, which looks a lot like this. And if we were to back up a little bit, time-wise on Google Earth, you're probably in one of these tent-type places. What's interesting is if you turn the timing layer off on Google Earth, the back satellite imagery, these are tents, but these are, I believe, set up for some alumni event. I'm sure you're in more rustic tents that look more like these. And what I thought we could do is head up to the Duke Chapel for a second and get a sense of what the size of West Campus is. So this barely includes, just up to the edge of Krzyzewskiville. If we turn this off, you can see it better. This is the main quad, right? The hospital will be over this way, Chapel Drive, and you get some of the dorms over that way. So this is a chunk of West Campus. If you ever measured that, I don't know why you would have, but if you have, it's about 0.28, 0.29 miles if you made a square that size. And I'll explain in a minute why we want a square that size. Some of you may live, particularly if you're a freshman, over on East Campus. And that's just to give us some context here for how big Duke is. I'll turn off some of these here. So here's a rectangle encompassing all of Duke from East Campus down across. We get Wallace Wade Stadium in there, little horseshoe. We don't quite get the golf course, but that's most of Duke. And now I'm going to make the Duke Chapel really big because I want to take you to some other people who are tenting, but for a more serious reason. And this is Syria, and it's about 6,000 miles away. And if we zoom into Syria, turn off the big Syria place mark, there's a place just over the border. Let's get down. Well, first of all, as you know, Syria is having a civil war, and these numbers are a little off. It's closer to 6 million internally displaced and about 2.3 million refugees. That's out of a country of about 22 million. So 1/3 of the people in Syria are living in places that aren't their own homes. And while you're in line, which you are for a couple days probably, or at least a day, you might want to learn a little bit about Syria. And you can Google around and find out what's going on there. But just south of the border, if we turn the borders back on, you can see what I'm talking about. This is this is Syria, and this is Jordan just below it. So about 7 miles south of the Syrian border is a place called I'll get all the way to the camp, Zatari refugee camp. And if we zoom in on it, there it is. It measures about 1.85 miles and 1.12 miles high. And this is home to about 144,000 people. It opened in July of 2012. And if we go back in time a little bit, you'll see that before 2012, it didn't exist at all. And then they're starting to build some roads up this way, and then the camp starts to take shape. This is a funny satellite image. I'm not sure why it's in half like that, but that's how big the camp is. So that chunk that we had of the main part of West Campus, that's how big that is. It's 0.28 miles by 0.28 miles. And if we were to go back to look at all of Duke, that rectangle is the size of the Zatari refugee camp. But unlike Duke, which has maybe 20,000 people, this camp has 144 1,000 people.